Hello, let's start with the topic TDS auditing checklist. First of all, let's see what all are the documents we need to take from the client. The two documents that we need to take from the client are TDS return and payment challan. Now, what all needs to be tallied? First of all, date of payment in challan with due date of payment. Secondly, date of payment in books with date of payment in challan. Amount payable in books with amount paid as per books. Amount paid as per books with amount as per challan. And lastly, date of filing return with due date of filing return. After this, let's let's check the various sections under which TDS needs to be deducted. Firstly, TDS under section 192B, which is payment of salary. The deductor employee is required to deduct tax at source at an average rate of income tax. For example, there is an employee called Nikhil whose monthly salary is rupees 1 lakh, hence his total salary becomes 12 lakh. And let's think that his estimated fixed deduction will be rupees 1 lakh, hence his total income will be 11 lakh. And as per current slab, his rate of tax will be 14,200, 1,42,500. And with adding education cess and higher education cess, which will be 5,700 at the rate of 4%, plus which will total to 1,48,200. And if we divide 1,48,200 by 12 lakh, his rate of tax becomes 12.35%, and hence the TDS is to be deducted at rate 12.35% on rupees 1 lakh per month. Now the format in which we have to inculcate this one is this one. Here the month and due date are already given. Now we have to put the date of challan, which we can be taken from here. This is just a specimen. We can take the date from here, and if there is any difference, this will be calculated here, auto calculated here. And now this is the column where amount in books, which is liability as per books, is written, and the payment which is made as per books, payment as per challan. And if there is a difference between payment as per books and payment as per challan, the amount will be calculated here. And interest on non-deduction at the rate 1% is to be deducted, and interest on non-payment of that fees of TDS is 1.5%. Here we can put any remarks that we want, which is short deduction or late deduction or anything. And 24Q is the TDS return which is needed to be filed for salary. The due dates are here, and we have to put in the actual dates which have been filed. And if there is any difference between these two, this will be auto calculated here. Late fees, which is 200 per day, is to be, which will be calculated automatically. Now the next section is TDS under section 194A, interest on other than interest on securities. The debtor is liable to deduct TDS at the rate 10%. Session limit in most of the cases is rupees 40,000, and the format is the same. The month, the due date, the date of challan. The difference will be calculated. Amount as per books, payment as per books, payment as per challan. Difference amount, the interest amount, and remarks if any. And 26Q due date, the TDS return date, which is, and the file date, the difference, and the late fees. Here one more thing to be noted is 20% is deducted as the rate of TDS if PAN is not provided. The next section comes 194B, income by way of winnings from lottery, profit puzzles, etc. The TDS is to deduct an aggregate amount if the aggregate amount exceeds rupees 10,000, and the deductor would be liable to deduct tax TDS at the rate 30%. The format goes same for all of them, so I'm not going to discuss all the formats here. There are one by one all the formats. I'm just going to the basics of the TDS sections. Then there comes section 194C, payment to contractor subcontractor. The deductor would liable to deduct TDS at the rate 1% in case of individual or HUF, and 2% in any other case. The threshold limit for deducting TDS is if the amount paid or credited to contractor in a single contract exceeds 30,000, or the aggregate amount paid or credited during the financial year exceeds rupees 1 lakh. And 194H, which is commission and brokerage, the deductor is liable to deduct TDS at the rate 5%. TDS is deducted only if the aggregate amount of commission exceeds 15,000 during the financial year. The next comes 194I, rent. The deductor is liable to deduct TDS at the rate 2% in case of renting of machinery, plant or equipment, and 10% in case of renting of land or building. Point to be noted is no TDS would be deducted if the income credited or paid during the financial year does not exceed rupees 2,40,000. And next comes 194IA, transfer of immovable property. The purchase of immovable property is liable to deduct TDS at the rate 1% if the consideration is 50 lakh or more. Now, the TDS under section 194 IB, rent paid by individual or HUF, the individual or HUF is liable to deduct TDS at the rate 5%. Exemption limit is rupees 50,000 per month. And next, the TDS under section 194J, fees for professional and technical services. Person is liable to deduct TDS at the rate 2% or sometimes 10%. In maximum cases, the threshold limit is rupees 30,000, except in some cases which has the limit is not 30,000. The next is 194 LA, payment of compensation on acquisition of certain immovable properties. The deductor is liable to deduct TDS at the rate 10%. TDS is not deductible where the aggregate consideration during the financial year is less than 2,50,000. And the last but not the least, TDS under section 194N, cash withdrawals. TDS is deductible at the rate 2% if the withdrawal exceeds 1 crore in a year. There are many more other sections which I have not mentioned here, but according to me, these were the relevant sections which we use in daily course as client. So you can check here the formats, and this is a specimen from where we can check the date and the amount. So these are all the format. 194 IA, transfer of immovable property. 194 IB, rent paid by individual or HUF. Fees for professional and technical services. Payment of compensation on acquisition of certain immovable properties, and cash withdrawals. Thank you.